welcome to the very special edition of WSAL's Internet Show. My name is Cameron Spink, and we're going to be taking a look at Salesianum's School Theater's production of one of the most famous musicals ever. Les Miserables was written by Victor Hugo and takes place during the French Revolution. Les Miserables travels with Jean Valjean as he runs from the ruthless Inspector Javert on a journey beyond the barricades at the center of the June Rebellion. Opening this weekend, so much work has been put into the show from students and instructors. Ray Armstrong takes a look at what the show is all about.
This year, Salesianum School Theater is producing one of the highest grossing musicals of all time, Les Miserables. The show is based on a novel written by Victor Hugo in 1862, and since the story's birth, it has been the basis of countless TV shows, 2 blockbuster movies, and even a Sesame Street skit. The show means so many things for so many people, and the vast majority of people know what the musical is.
There's a lot of sort of thematic elements of the show that I really believe in. I believe in the power of students through applying their ideas and their thoughts and their beliefs to actively change the world. Like, that's sort of why I'm in the business I'm in, combining art and education. So it speaks to me thematically as well. And then there's also the really important piece that Valjean, in his sort of quest to protect the characters he protects, and in his quest to sort of seek goodness, is a sort of iconic father figure in a number of ways. And the whole show means something very different to me now as a father of 2 kids than it did when I was younger, before I had kids. So it's interesting as well to work on it as a father and look for those themes as well.
The musical has a strong emphasis on this idea of standing up for what you believe is right. The show suggests that each one of us has our own barricade, or something that we believe in, and we must recognize it and fight for it.
I think I'm very resonant with standing up for what I believe in, and I believe that this show, more than anything, shows that when you're silent about things, it really doesn't help anything, and that the heroes are the people who are going to speak out and are going to go against the grain.
There's a lot of misinformation around. I think that a lot of people are told what to think, and a lot of people don't do enough work discovering what they think themselves. They're happy to rely on other people's opinions or versions of the facts, and I think it's a really important thing to have something to believe in that you truly believe in.
To further this belief, the company Les Miserables has launched an initiative called Beyond the Barricade, focused on donating to causes they believe need to be supported. The production has even gotten recognized by Broadway Cares, one of the biggest non-profit companies on Broadway, devoted to donating to worthy causes.
The Beyond the Barricade initiative is this idea that everybody believes in something. And as a teacher, I'm interested in helping our students practice how to amplify what it is that they believe in. And so we've partnered with different organizations that were proposed by company members or that serve the need that company members express. And we are practicing what we preach. We're saying that it's not just about identifying a cause and believing in it, it's about taking action.
I think that it is a wonderful extension of both the message of the show, but also the message of our school and St. Francis de Sales. I think there are so many parallels to the message of charity, of supporting things that one believes in, of giving a voice to people who don't otherwise have a voice. And I think theater and art in particular are really important media for being able to do that.
The company Les Miserables is hoping to incorporate the beliefs of St. Francis de Sales, especially this year's theme, Change You, Change the World. They hope that with this show, they can help you look at the world a little bit differently.
One of the most visual parts of any musical is obviously the cast. The cast in Les Miserables have been working hard on the show ever since November of 2017. After school, every day, over 50 Salesians and girls from Padua and Ursuline have been at work rehearsing and preparing for the show. All of their hard work will finally be on display for students, faculty, and visitors to see.
Salesianum will be performing the musical Les Miserables. We are here to take a look behind the people who will be performing this year.
Okay.
What is your character in the musical?
Hi, my name is Jake Collins, and I play Jean Valjean in Les Miserables.
I'm Tony Denny. My character is Prouvaire, which is a barricade boy.
My name is Sean Davis, and I'm an ensemble member.
My name is Quinn Murphy, and I play Thenardier.
The impact to the musical does your role have?
So Jean Valjean is a convict who has been living in prison for 19 years of his life, and he gets a new chance at redemption and a new life, and his goal is to basically find God and discover what it means to be good.
Basically, the Barricade Boys are trying to start like this revolution against the government, and that happens like in the middle of the show, and then we try to start a revolution.
Thénardier is kind of like a disruptor in everybody's story. When we first meet him, he owns an inn, and he's kind of like the life of the party, but he runs it so he can steal like money from people, basically, like petty crimes in the inn. And he has possession of Fantine's child, Cosette, who Fantine left with the Thénardiers a long time ago, and Valjean comes to buy Cosette back from the Thénardiers after Fantine dies, and we sell her to him, and then we kind of intersect with the rest of the story a little bit.
At the scene.
How well do you think the cast is working together?
The cast, crew, and band have been working together pretty well. There have been hiccups here and there. That's mostly because of new people coming in, not knowing what they have, and we just direct them to what they need to do.
We're working pretty good. There's a bunch of different parts, you know, lighting, stage crew, the cast, the band, but we're working through all the obstacles that come through, and I think we work pretty well together.
I think the cast is working together really well. Everybody's very serious about like the messages we're trying to convey with the show, and about what the like product we're trying to put out.
What is so special about this show?
So, in light of the events that have happened over the past 2 weeks of our lives, I think that Les Mis is a super important show and one that we need in this time, because Les Mis is a show about hope and finding good in times of evil. And I think that in light of what has happened over the past 2 weeks, I think that we need a symbol of hope and justice in our lives and making change to the world, and I think Les Mis can do that.
This show is special in particular because number one, it's huge. Number two, this is one of the biggest shows that we've ever done. And number two, this is probably one of the most like deep shows that we've ever done. Like it has a lot to it.
The scale of it, Salesianum School Theater has not done a production like this ever. So far, we sold more tickets than we have on any other show, and it is just the scale and the mass of it brings potential for the future.
I think what's special about this show, if we're talking about Les Mis, that's one of the best pieces of like musical theater, and it's inspired off of one of like the best pieces of literature in history, and it's like a cool thing that we're doing it, and that we're doing it in such a big scale. Like this is one of the biggest shows SST has ever done. In size and scale. And I think what's special for SST about it is that we're bringing kind of like a new aspect to it that we think is unique from everybody else that's done it.
What is the most challenging part of the musical for you?
The most challenging part of the musical for me is the song Bring 'Em Home, because in the show, Jean Valjean is a very old man and he's very tired, and I'm not a very old man, nor am I very tired. And singing that song about having a son, not having the experience of having a son, is something that I've never had to really do on stage before, and it's a super hard song, and I think that it's super beautiful, and I just want to do the song justice.
Being in the right place at the right time with the right costume, because I have a lot of changes and stuff like that, so trying to manage all that.
It's long. It's like a marathon. I move a lot, and it's like 2.5 hours of just like fully moving. I don't have a lot of time to sit down, and I'm in really uncomfortable shoes the whole time. So that's probably like the exhaustion is probably a big part of it.
What is your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part about the show is the beginning of the show, the prologue, Look Down. I'm pulled on stage from like way back down that center aisle, and I'm brought down by my elbows, and I get pushed to the ground. And the moment when I turn around and look at the audience and say what my name is, and that I'm free, is a moment where I feel the adrenaline rush and it just all comes at me and it's glorious and I love it.
My favorite part about the show is dying, because it's just a really cool moment.
Reporting for WSAL, Henry Beardwood.
During the first 2 weekends of March, Salesianum's stage in the Father Sprague Auditorium will be set up for the musical Les Miserables. Stage crew has been working tirelessly for around 3 months, building sets, hanging lights, setting microphones, and setting cues. The crew are the people that work the hardest and see very little of the accolades. WSAL's Max Monzo shows how these individuals worked on the show.
In theatrical productions, actors receive most credit and attention for their works, but there are so many more people behind the scenes working to ensure that the musical is the best it can be.
Well, I wanted to do crew instead of acting because I hate memorizing things, and I also wanted to learn how to do some things with tools. Well, right behind me we have the barricade, and I've helped build ladders up on it, and I helped build the wagon wheel. And it's great because it's a main central part of the play that's going to have a lot going on it. My favorite job here, I'd say, would have to be building things like this, or a bed that I've been working on recently, and just doing all this building is really fun and enjoyable. It's not a single piece, but the most challenging to keep together and keep out of the way would be the 4 3-story tall scaffolding towers that we have, and they kind of get in the way when we're doing other things, and they were difficult to put together as well.
I guess I don't really like being in the spotlight, I'm just not ready for that yet, but I enjoy working behind the scenes, so I like, I guess I like working with tools. I think I don't get to do that much in my home life, you know, we don't really do a lot of that stuff, but here it's fun to watch, like, the creation happen, you know, it's fun to build stuff and see it used. Well, I had a really big break between my jobs, like started the year off being a co-designer, and now I'm just working in the back, just helping out with anything I can help out with. The most challenging ones to build was probably the wall, because we had to randomize so much, because the wall represents a bunch of junk gathered together to build some sort of defense, and to randomize that is really hard, and they yet keep it all together so the actors can climb on it.
The crew has spent the past couple of months learning how to use power tools, engineering schematics, and carpentership. These new skills not only help them set up the shots for the show, but also make sure they function throughout the show.
There's a lot of anticipation for Les Mis. People inside and outside of the production are working to ensure that the play can run smoothly, especially those building and setting up important props to enhance the realism of the show.
I have to say I'm pretty excited about the play, but I'm also nervous in case something I built breaks.
It's supposed to be the biggest one yet, and I can't wait to see the result of all this work.
The stage crew are excited for the opening night of the musical to see all of their hard work in moving the props and making sure the scenes look good, to seeing their set pieces and work during the performance. Make sure to come out and support the stage crew and the rest of the cast in the production of Les Mis, March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Reporting for WSAL, Max Monzo.
The music of Les Miserables has some iconic tracks that people may know, such as On My Own, I Dreamed a Dream, and One Day More. But not that many people know the amount of work that the pit orchestra puts in to train for these music tracks. The wind, brass, and instrumental instruments come together to make these iconic tracks to this show. Pit orchestra.
So, well, the band is a class, and the pit orchestra is a club that meets after school that plays in the musical productions of Salesianum, including this weekend's Les Miserables.
The amount of work we put into it, you know, in this band, we're meeting every day, and we work very hard, yeah. But for the pit orchestra, we also meet every day at this point, and we have to practice at home, otherwise it won't sound good at all.
Comprised of everyone the pit orchestra is a lot more concise. It's only the good players, or that's kind of mean. I would say it's only the players with the highest skill that can play this music. This is the hardest music that we can play in this school pretty much.
This is a pit that is hardworking and has put in a lot of practice time over the last couple of months to get ready for this very huge production. So so far we are proud of the work that we've done so far, and we hopefully want to continue this work.
Bullhorns being used, we have a few professionals coming in. The keyboards are keyed for about 12 or 13 different instruments, ranging from like an organ to a whole choir full of people pretty much.
This play is one of the greatest musicals of all time. So from there, this play carries extra significance for those who are big fans of the theater, because this is a show that's widely known throughout the whole world. Compared to previous shows we've done, this is like one of the best known. It's one of the most famous plays, and it's an honor for all of us to be playing here, and for all the actors to be acting in this play.
The sheer size of it, you know, we've had a lot of plays here before, and this one's certainly panning out to be the biggest one in production so far.
It's a lot harder, it's a lot longer, it's a lot more intense. I know in previous plays I would have had maybe 2 or 3 songs. I have 32 songs. I play in all 32 songs in the play. It's about, I want to say 3 or 4 hours worth of playing, and every day it's going to be, and all the music is college level stuff.
With the start of the musical Les Miserables around the corner, the cast and crew are very excited to put all their hard work to display. Both cast and crew have been working incredibly hard to make this musical not only up to the high standards that they set for themselves, but those of the Broadway theater. Not only the crew is excited, but the student body and teachers are also extremely excited to see a play of this caliber and to see their classmates perform. Justin Tulabaki has the story.
With Les Mis almost set to go, anticipation around the school is buzzing for such a historic performance.
I'm very excited. I know the theater's been working several months on this. They always do a terrific job. I'm sure it'll be great yet again. I'm just excited to see it. I'm sure they do a great job.
I am very excited for this upcoming production of Les Mis because of all the work that has been done by Mr. Bogad, Mr. Locke, who is our technical director, and also with Mr. Cox, who is the band director, along with Mr. Loudon.
Only Broadway and a select few off-Broadway theaters have been able to put on this heralded performance, which is why the school and crew are excited for this play.
The crew's been working really hard. The cast's been literally kicking it to their next gear. The band's been killing it over in the next room because we have the different sound coming from the band room instead of the pit, and it's coming together really well. I'm really anticipated for the show.
I anticipate that's going to be very good because it's such a popular musical, and everyone likes the music. So I think this is going to be a very successful musical for here.
The theater has been working on Les Mis non-stop since November, and expectations are very high for this impactful performance. Reporting for WSAL, Justin Tulabaki.
Les Miserables will be performed for the next 2 weekends here at Salesianum in Wilmington, Delaware. The cast and crew would like to invite you to see one of their performances. My name is Cameron Spink, and thank you for joining us in a very special internet show.